Hello everyone, I am Hussein. Today I will present bank records project with my colleagues. Our goals are effective using for bank companies, security for customers, plain graphical user interface, easiness to update. I am going to talk about general roles of our system and UNF table. User will enter to application via ID no and application password. If one customer attempts to transfer money from his/her one specific account to another customer's specific account at the same amount in the same day, this transaction cannot be done. Every account has one phone number and one email. Two different cards of the same person can have the same email and phone number, or can have the same email and different phone number. In short, all combinations of it. There is no relation between cut-off date and last payment date. Minimum payment is amount 40% of the current debt. No column can have null values. Let's take a look to our table. We are keeping the data as in here. As you see, a password, ID number, branch address, etc. You also see a customer can have multiple accounts registered to one phone number here. That's all. Thank you.
My name is Gülsüm Simge Bozdoğan. This is the first normal form table. The primary keys of this table are IBAN, transaction amount, transaction date, occurring IBAN. Then in the first part of the second normal form, this table is divided into three tables named transaction information table, transaction table, and customer information table. Of these, the primary keys of the transaction information table are IBAN, transaction amount, transaction date, occurring IBAN. The primary keys of the transaction table are occurring IBAN, and the primary key of the customer information table is IBAN. Then in the second part of this second normal form, transaction information table and transaction table remain the same, while the customer information table is divided into two parts. Customer table and card information table. While the primary key of customer table is customer phone number, IBAN is the primary key of card information table. Then in the third normal form table, transaction information table, transaction table, card information table are divided into two tables named customer table and user table. Of the third regular form tables, the primary key of the customer table is the customer phone number, while the primary key of the user table is the ID no. Then as the third moves to the second part of the normal form, the card information table from these tables is divided into two, while the other tables remain the same. There are two tables named card information table and account. The primary key of the account table is account no, while the primary key of the card information table is IBAN. Then as the third phases to the third part of the normal form, the account table is divided into two, while the other tables remain the same. While the primary key of the account table is account note, the primary key of the account details table is card number. Finally, in the fourth part of the third normal form, while the other tables remain the same, the account details table is divided into two tables. Amount of payment and account details. While the primary key of amount of payment from these tables is the current debt, the primary key of the account details table is card number, so this part ends.
Hello everyone, I am Semih Ataman. Today I will present you our project's query part. Firstly, I will set bank record database from scratch in SQL. Then I will introduce your tables and their attributes one by one. Then I will compare these tables with our tables in SQL. At the last part, I will update database according to customer's request. Let's start. Now we will set our database from scratch. Here we have our queries. Firstly, we are creating a database at the name of bank record. And then I am copying and pasting these queries. Now our database is ready. We are refreshing our database, and here we have our tables ready. Now I will introduce you our tables. We have 8 tables. The first one is account table. With this query, we are creating our account table. Account table has 2 columns, which has names account no and card number. These two are in the data types of char 16 because every bank has 16 digits for account number and card number. This is a standard for banks. And we are setting our primary key as account no for account table. And let's check our table in SQL. Account table. We have account number and card number. Account no and card number. And here we have account no and card number. These are the same. Now we have our second table, account details table. With this query, we are creating our table. We have customer email, varchar 25, card password. Every bank's card has 4-digit password generally, and CVCs are always 3 digits. That's why we have defined them as char. And we have other attributes, and all of them not null. And we are setting our primary key as a card number. Now let's check our database in SQL. Account details. It starts with customer email and then card password and CVC and finish with online payment. Here is the same. Starts with customer email, card password and CVC. Rest are the same and finish with online payment. Here we have defined contactless payment and online payment in the data type of bit, because one card can have contactless payment or not. If card has contactless payment, we have set the value 1 for bit, and if not, we have set the value 0, the same as the online payment. And our third table is acquire table. With this query, we are creating our table. We have 4 columns. These are in the data types of char and varchars. In the SQL acquire table, we have 4 columns: a current IBAN, a current bank ID, a current branch, and a current account. No, it's the same here. And we have our fourth table, amount of payment table. We have 2 columns. These are in the date blocks of decimals. And primary key of our table is current debt. Here, amount of payment table, we have 2 columns, current debt and minimum payment amount. Our 5th table is card information table. We are creating this table with this query, and we have 3 columns. We are setting IBAN as a primary key. Here we have 3 columns: customer phone number, IBAN, and account now. Our 6th table is contact information table. This table contains ID now and customer phone number, and we are setting our primary key as customer phone number. Here we have 2 columns, the same as here. Our 7th table is transaction information table. We have columns at the name of IBAN, transaction amount, transaction date, payment type, and acquiring IBAN. Here transaction information table. We have IBAN, transaction amount, transaction date, payment type, and acquiring IBAN is the same here. Is the same as here. And our last table is user table. We have 5 columns: ID, no, app password, customer name, customer surname, customer address, and no one of them can be null. We are setting our primary key as ID, no. And the last table here has 5 columns, and column names are the same as in the PowerPoint. Now, our customer requested that every account can have currency types like Turkish liras, euro, USD, etc. So we have updated our table as we added currency type column to the account details table, and then we have set the values according to our database. Now let's do it and update the database. Now new query, we are here, we added the name new column. Here we are setting the new values. Let's check our tables. Here updated version of our account details table is here. We added currency type column and insert data in that column. And for Kumarti, it will explain other custom requests on GUI. My presentation is done here. Thanks for listening to me.
Hello guys, I'm Recep Tayyip from database group of bank records. Now I will show you how we create a view on our SQL project. Before to show, let's check the first table. As you know, we create this type of tables before creating a database project. There is much information about our database, like ID number, a password, customer name, and others. We use these pieces of information to create a database. Now, let's create the view. Okay. I'm using Microsoft SQL Server to develop our project. Here are our queries, as you see. To create a view, I will execute queries. Okay, click execute. Okay, commands complete successfully. It's done. and let's refresh the page and check views menu. Yes, as you see, we created our view. Okay, you can see the table which created view. This table is same as the first table. Let's check our first table from Excel. Yes, as you see, these tables are same tables. Now we will focus our ER diagram. As you see, we have 8 tables, need to focus their relations. Let's start with account details table. Account details table. Card number is primary key and current debt is foreign key in this table. Card number is primary key. Current debt is foreign key in this table. Firstly, we will focus on card number. Card number is assigned as a primary key, as you see, because of database structure. And account details table has relation between account table with card number. This relation type is one-to-one relation. One-to-one relation between account details table and account details with card number. And then current debt is foreign key. Current debt is foreign key. Also, account details table has relation between amount of payment table with current debt. This relation type of many-to-one type. Many-to-one type with account details table and amount of payment tables with current debt. Also, I want to talk about currency type feature. We added this feature because of our customer request. It means you can have many different currency type, dollars, Turkish liras, etc. Anyway, let's talk about other tables quickly. Account table. Account table has relation between card information. Card information with this relation type of one-to-one relation. As you see, one-to-one relation between card information table and account table. Account number is primary key. As you see, account number is primary key in account table. Let's talk about card information table. Card information table has relation between contact information table and transaction information table. Card information table and contact information table has many-to-one relation with customer phone number. And customer phone number is foreign key. Customer phone number. Foreign key. This relation type of many-to-one between card information table and contact information table. Also, card information table and transaction information table has one-to-many relation with IBAN. Also, IBAN is primary key. IBAN is primary key and one-to-many relation between card information table and transaction information table. Another table is transaction information table. Transaction information table has relation between a courier table with occurring IBAN. And this relation type is many to one. This relation type is many to one, as you see, with occurring IBAN between a courier table and transaction information table. And again, contact information table. Contact information table has relation between user table with ID number. This relation type is many to one. As you see. Also, ID number is foreign key in contact information table, and ID number is primary key in user table. I hope this presentation has been tutorial for you. Thank you for listening.
Hello, I am Mert from 12th group. I will try to present you the front end of the bank record project. Before starting presentation, since we didn't connect the site with backend, I coded the front end statically. I used 3 different technologies in front end: React, Redux, and GraphQL. On the design side, I used Material UI and BLK design by Creative Team. I will explain how these 3 technologies are used in my project with examples. I'll start from React. React is a user interface library for single-page application. A single-page application is an application that works inside a browser and doesn't require page reloading during use. You are using this type of application every day. These are, for instance, Gmail, Google Maps, Facebook, or GitHub. Notice that the page doesn't refresh when root, login page between home page. Component structure and page performance are among the main features of React. Components are the building blocks of any React app. For example, this navbar is a component. Every button is a component. We can define a component one times and use it continuously, and even print dynamically by loop. And the components are not affected by each other. I will talk about this in the later. I'll talk about a modern technology at this point. Its name is GraphQL. Official site definition: GraphQL is a query language for APIs and a runtime for fulfilling those queries with your existing data. It is used instead of RESTful API, and its advantage is that you want to extract only the data you need from the server. RESTful API also pulls all the data, is bad in terms of performance, but you are free in GraphQL. Many companies such as Airbnb, Twitter use GraphQL. I'll show you a few examples. This is GraphQL's own testing platform. I will send a login request to the server and I want the user information back. And I don't have to get all the information. I just want ID or just token. I am free for this. The third technology I use is Redux. I will try to show Redux in the application. Let's log into our site. Remember me, and login redirects us the dashboard page where user accounts are shown, and there are user settings, account details, and transfers at the left side. We can open a new account here. We need to choose account type and currency here. We don't require any further information here because we already receive information when opening a user account. Here Redux comes into play. action is triggered when we press the button, and the global state will update by Redux. Only state connected components will be re-rendered. And you can see payloads in here, account ID, account holder, and the other information is changed by Redux. New account has been added in the account details section. Yes, here it is. If we look at the details section, when press the more details, we can view the detailed graphs, but there's no graphs yet, and the other information like online payment, we set it true, and IBAN, it's here. I said at the beginning of the presentation that the components did not affect each other. Nowhere is never affected when routing between transfer and details. Events in the transfer form do not affect neither menu nor navbar. You can see here, when click the next, will not affect the other components. I entered the necessary information in the form transfer section. Name of the person I will send, the IBAN number, and to where, Antalya, and of course amount, $225. I accept the information is correct and transfer successful. The amount in the account details section will be updated. You can see here amount is updated. If we go into details section, you can see here amount is updated. Also transfer orders updated and graph also updated. You can see the other information here. And if we click the delta button, the account will update it instantly and delete it. Finally, I want to talk about token. We need high security for banking system. So the user should be checked and log out every 15 minutes. We will do this thanks to JWT token. JWT token is a passport consisting of user information and creation time after each login. The token is checked whenever a request is made to the server and explodes when it expires. This was the front-end part. I did it statically because we couldn't connect with the backend, as I said at the beginning of the presentation. And in relation to presentation, I took the video first because the sound of my computer was too loud. So then I recorded the audio and I cut the video to present it better. Front-end part is done. Thank you for listening my presentation.